We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Jonathan. This is from a follow-up from last week. Jonathan was confused by our answer regarding 7-channel stereo listening mode versus multi-channel stereo listening mode. According to the description in his Denon manual, multi-channel stereo listening mode seems like it takes whatever is playing and plays it through all available speakers. Is that not the case? It does. According to what we talked about last week, if I was remembering what Rob said correctly.
Right, it makes sound come out of all of the speakers.
What you wanted... What 7-channel stereo does is it makes whatever was coming out of the left speakers come out of all the speakers on the left.
Right.
And whatever comes out of the right speakers coming out of all the speakers on the right.
Right.
What this
just
does,
straight duplication.
What this does is it takes what's left and right and kind of leaves that front stereo image, but then expands it around a little bit behind you to the sides.
It is a DSP listening mode.
Right.
So actually, we were hoping originally that multi-channel stereo listening mode did the straight duplication thing, because the reason we found out that multi-channel stereo is not the same as the old 7-channel stereo is because in my whole crazy thing of playing bass sweeps through every speaker individually one at a time to figure out the very best possible crossover frequency, one of the tricks was you just physically unplug all but one speaker, put it into 7-channel stereo listening mode, play your bass sweep, and now it'll come out of that speaker perfectly duplicated. Well, somebody tried that with the multi-channel stereo listening mode, and they're like, that ain't the same bass sweep. Like, this thing has some reverb added to it.
Right.
Its frequency response has been changed a little bit, so unfortunately, they're doing some digital signal processing. Yes, sound is coming out of all of your speakers, but it is slightly processed sound, so I apologize. I forget who was asking last week about the 7-channel stereo, but they were hoping for the straight duplication. Yamaha still does that. Denon and Marantz don't. So that was that.
So Jonathan also finished reading recently a novella set in Beijing. It's called The Invisibility Cloak, and the protagonist is someone who builds an audio amplifiers and installs audiophile gear in China. So are there any AVRant listeners in China? I don't know that I ever remember hearing about anybody.
I don't recall someone explicitly saying they were in
China. I know
China.
we've got Japan.
Oh, yes.
Scott was from Japan. I mean, he's still from Japan as far as I know. Anyways, and is the lust for Nordist cables and vinyl really as prevalent in China as this novella makes them out to be? Didn't read the novella, so I don't know what the novella, but I'm sure there is a community of audiophiles in China. Positive.
Well, I'm certain that a love for vinyl. I mean, that's worldwide.
Yeah.
There are the people who just love vinyl, so that's fine. I'm sure that's there. The Nordost cables in particular, I mean, they are lusted after by people for whatever reason. It wouldn't shock me that I'm certain there is a group in China of people who really, really want Nordost cables. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. There are many, many people in China. It would be strange if there wasn't a group after any particular brand, to be honest.
Absolutely. I mean, there's going to be audiophile groups there. I mean,
yes.
It's just, I mean, any place you've got people with money, and China certainly has that, you're going to find people who are looking to differentiate themselves from the other people that have money. How do they do that? They get some hobby that's expensive, and believe me, audio can be really super expensive. So
hey, we talked about some speakers from Jonathan last week at that Expona show. Hey, you want to spend $300,000 on a pair of speakers? There they are.
That is not even nearly close to the most expensive speakers I've ever seen, too.
Well, of course, they won't sound very good unless you also have $300,000 cables, right?
Cable elevators. I want cable elevators like the porcelain ones that are on the audio, the power poles.
Yeah.
Those are cool. Okay, they don't do anything, but they are so
home,
cool. No. I mean, just looking at them, it's like, what is that? I'm like, oh well, I can't let them my cable touch the ground.
They're not even very expensive.
I
you know that because the utility company put them up there. So if they cost thousands of dollars each, they wouldn't be putting them up there, would they? It's porcelain.
Yeah. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.